to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. The crossroads where culture, lifestyle, and community meet, all hosted by the legendary New York radio TV personality and proud Harlem American, G. Keith Alexander.
And thank you so very, very much. Yes, I am G. Keith Alexander, and we are here. A wonderful day. It's, well, let's see. Thanksgiving was what, last week? I think I had a good Thanksgiving and really, really nice with the family and friends, and I certainly hope you did as well. Today, we want to welcome to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. All of you who happen to be listening wherever you are, I appreciate you for joining our neighborhood as we hang out together in Harlem, America. Now, today in the What's Hot Spotlight is my lifelong friend, James Beatty, but you can call him Jim. He's a founder and organizer of the African American Golf Expo and Forum. Now, this is a multi-day event held to promote the business and economic opportunities for African Americans in the 84 billion, with a B, golf industry. The inaugural event was held in August 2021 in Atlanta and drew a total of 750 total attendees and 450 unique participants. The event had an economic impact of $700,000, and this was a first in the history of the golf industry. He has also pioneered many economic development initiatives in rural and urban America, and he's been recognized as one of the top 50 consultants in America by the Consultant Connection. So it is my distinct honor and pleasure to say that Jim Beatty is What's Hot. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Hey, it is my pleasure. We go way back, and I mean way back. For those folks who are listening, I want you to know that I've known this young man since third grade.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who would have thought, or who would have thunk it, that you and I would one day be having a radio podcast show together. I mean, the nuns at St. Agatha would probably, or they're probably turning over in their grave right now.
Wouldn't you know it? And third grade, as I recall, was Mrs. Walsh was our teacher. And I can tell you that she is the reason that I ended up majoring in mathematics in college. It was due to my third grade teacher. I've always given her that attribution, that she helped me on long division, some extra problems, and that got me going down that road of mathematics. But yep, third grade, I remember it like it was yesterday. St. Agatha.
That's right, St. Agatha. Well, Mrs. Walsh's mathematic training or teaching, I guess it didn't stick with me too well. I wouldn't call mathematics one of my strong suits,
Understood.
But it works for
everyone.
Yeah. So what I normally do is I usually ask everyone to take a trip back, and we go back in time, and we use the Wayback Machine to kind of get my special guest to tell me what life was early on. And I have an idea, since we grew up together, but I'd like for you to tell the folks a little bit about your early background.
Absolutely. And again, thanks for having me. Well, as you mentioned, we both are from the west side of Chicago, Lawndale area.
Right.
And our folks saw to it that we got an education. So we ended up early on at St. Agatha, corner of Douglas and Kedzie.
That's right.
In Chicago. So we have the Catholic background going for us in that regard. But what I also remember, in addition to the serious schooling that we received from the nuns, the BVMs, Blessed Virgin Mary nuns, they were very insistent upon us doing well in class. was that we also had a great athletic cohort going for us as well too.
That's right.
And I'd like to tell your fans, I recall you being one of the star fullbacks on our undefeated football team at St. Agatha. I didn't participate in football, but I played a little basketball. But I was on the bench, but you were always a starter and the star. And I got to see folks like you and others. But I came into my own in baseball as fate would have it. I pitched
Hmm.
for St. Agatha. Was
Hmm.
fortunate enough to have a great team behind me. Some names, if you don't mind, I'll name them.
No, go right ahead. Sure. Because I'm sure
William
they'll be
Harris,
listening.
William Harris, whom we know and love as Bo, Leon
That's right.
Allen, Tubo, Roosevelt Jones, Bucky,
Hmm.
Charles Calvert, C, and it goes on and on and on. Let the Gibbons brothers, twins,
That's right. They were really
as
good.
well. So we played a lot of our baseball in Douglas Park, where we won quite a bit, and I was able to pitch there, or I did pitch there. Was able to pitch a few no hitters, a couple of no hitters as well. So I was trying to just stay up with you guys. You guys were so talented, and I really looked up to you. You did so well athletically and academically, and I simply just tried to emulate my big brothers. And it finally worked out in baseball. After elementary school, I went to St. Mel. It's now
Hmm.
Providence St. Mel. It merged with the girls' school, Providence, and
Hmm.
decided to run track. And unbeknownst to me, I had some speed, but it
Really?
turned out that I was pretty good in track. I ran the 220 and 440.
Oh, wow.
Now they're known as the 200 and 400 meters. And I was undefeated in my senior year at St. Mel in the 220.
Hmm.
And that got me a scholarship to Doane College, now Doane University in Cretan, Nebraska, in '66. Dating myself clearly, but
Yes,
uh,
but that's all right.
but went there on a track and academic scholarship where was able to set more records, majored in mathematics, and met my wife of now 53 years at that campus. So
Incredible.
so growing up in Lawndale, I think we had a lot of great support, family support. Our mothers, I recall my mother and your
Loved your
mother
mother.
talking regularly, uh, Lorraine and Mary,
Yeah.
Mrs. Steele, Mrs. Nolan,
Yeah.
everybody. But there was such a great support group and pack for us as we were growing up. They all watched over us and kept us, I think, on the straight and narrow. And then we had Father Dan Millette, who
Oh, great
really
guy.
transformed St. Agatha. He brought the roller skate into the gymnasium.
Right.
As I recall, he did that, and that became a magnet for everybody on the west side to come to. We're going roller skating at St. Agatha.
A-
Uh,
and not to cut you off, but to tell you that that was what got me into roller skating here in New York, and I became like the known as the roller skating DJ. They used to call me the disco kid because I was out every night roller skating or in the discotheque. So it started at St. Agatha.
It absolutely did. And I think if we go back and find some West Siders, probably a few South Siders came in there too. But I still remember the roller skating that we had during the week as well as on the weekend. So Father Dan Millette and others at the parish were our guidance people for sure, and helped mold us as I view our growing up. We still had to contend with all the issues that were there on the West Side, but somehow we got through it.
We got through it. I mean, the West Side was a rough spot in Chicago, but Dan Millette used to deal with all of the say the unfortunate people that got caught up in crime and stuff. He would go and bail them out of jail, and all sorts of things. But I got to say, I got to give props to Father Dan Millett, because when I got out of the Marine Corps, he got me a scholarship to Fordham University here in New York. And that's what brought me to New York. He left Chicago and he became the assistant dean here at Fordham University. And it was Father Dan Millett that got me here. So I owe him a lot of credit and a lot of love and respect for that. Unfortunately, he passed away about 3-4 years ago.
Right. Tough guy, great guy.
Yeah.
Very supportive of all of our teams and efforts. And he was a 24/7. You know, he didn't preach a sermon. He was the sermon. He was out there.
Oh, yes. Yes.
He knew no limits and no boundaries. Didn't matter. And if you recall, he introduced us to Father Clements. I remember when he brought Father Clements out doing a football practice right across the street from the church in Douglas Park.
Right.
And there was this black priest, which I had never seen before. But Father Millett had him with him, and he said, "Fellas, I want to introduce you to my friend, Father Clements." I remember that so vividly. That, again, just another testimony to Dan Millett. Dan,
yes,
you called him, right?
We just call him Dan. Yeah. So, all right, now you went out to Nebraska, which I didn't know there were Black people living out in Nebraska myself, but you went out to Nebraska and you became this tremendous entrepreneur, and you started a business where you provided a call center for BET. Tell us how all of that came about.
Okay. Well, let me start with Nebraska. That, as I recall from 4th grade, was the Great Dust Bowl. That's what I knew about Nebraska. But I knew that I was ready to leave Chicago from an educational standpoint. I was ready to move on after high school. And Doane College offered this scholarship. I had a couple of others, but my coach really pushed me toward Doane. What I came to find out was that Omaha is the birthplace of Malcolm X.
Really?
Yep. 3448 Pinckney in Omaha was his birthplace. And so that became a tremendous connection for me. In any event, I went through my undergraduate at Doane and received my degree. And upon receiving that, I received a job offer from then AT&T, the Bell system, the Northwestern Bell unit. And that was in 70. And it was about in 1970 when AT&T introduced 800 toll-free service. Perhaps some of your viewers might recall that there was such a thing as a collect call.
Yes.
You had to make, if you wanted to make an interstate call. Well, when AT&T introduced 800 service, it was priced in such a way that being in a central location made it advantageous for large users. And so Omaha became a hotspot, to take your term for a moment, for 800 service. And we had a team at Northwestern Bell that was responsible for that. And I, at one point, headed that team to bring large 800 users into Omaha. And so corporations such as Marriott, Roadway Inns, Avis, at that time, Avis, Budget Rent-A-Car, Sears actually had a rent-a-car division here, Hyatt, and others had their call center here. Marriott had their call center here. And so we had that part of it. We also had what was called direct response part. So you put an 800 number up on TV and sell Ron Popeil's pocket fisherman or Coach bags, whatever the case might be, Ambassador leather bags. Many of the vendors in New York the big catalog companies
Mhm.
had their 800 calls answered in Omaha. And again, that was part of the group that I had the pleasure of heading for a period of time. And I saw all of this activity, all of these calls, people ordering product and people being employed. And I got bit by the bug that, I'd like to give this a try. And indeed started my own operation, the first Black-owned telemarketing operation in the country, National Communication Service,
Mhm.
and grew that to about 90 folks or so,
Wow.
and ultimately sold that off. Um, I wasn't as capitalized as I should have been, but I had raised several hundred thousands of dollars before I started.
Mhm.
But believe me, your phone bill can get real high back then as well too. But nonetheless, I was able to sell that off and move into some other venues. So that's how I got involved through the AT&T Northwestern Bell unit that I headed, and then starting my own operation. And through that, I signed up BET. Literally met with Bob Johnson in his office in DC, uh, with his then Vice President Janice Thomas, uh,
Mhm.
convinced them to come out to Omaha and take a trip, take a visit out and see the operation. And as a result of that, for many years, we handled BET one. I think it was 800-238-2400. And we handled Bobby Jones Gospel Hour,
I remember
Ebony,
that.
Ebony Jet. So if you call back then in the early 80s when I had it, you were talking to one of my agents. I might have been on the phone as well, handling calls. So
Wow.
it was great. It was
Well,
great.
that is a beautiful story, because I never knew that when I was making phone calls that you would be on the other end of the phone or one of your people. Look, we've got 30 seconds before break, Jim. For those of you who are just joining us, we're talking to James Beatty. We call him Jim. He's a dear friend of mine, and we're going to talk more about what he has been up to, and we're going to talk about the business of golf, which is very important. So this is What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander, and you're welcome to check out our website at harlemamerica.com. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Crystal Pfeiffer, and I'm a designer. And I love Harlem because it's a cultural melting pot. And I'm proud to be a Harlem American.
So we're here with Jim Beatty, and he's the president of NCS International. He's the president of Jim Beatty Golf Ventures. He's the executive editor at African American Golfers Digest. He's the founder of African American Golf Expo and Forum. And he's the chair of We Are Golf Recreational Play Subcommittee Diversity Task Force. Cheese and crackers, Jim. I don't know how you do it all, but obviously you must be a very important man. So now tell us how you got into consulting other folks on how they should and where they should set up their call centers.
Absolutely. So after I was able to sell my company, I had certainly a decision to make, and what do I do next? Everybody goes through that at some point or another, perhaps even multiple times. Now what do I do? And I actually received a call from a small town in Nebraska, of which there are many, a town called Aurora, Nebraska. And they called and said, listen, we have been seeing the want ads for jobs in Omaha that can't be filled for call center agents. We'd like to get some of those jobs out here. Can you help us? And, I thought about it for about, I don't know, 32 seconds. And I said, yeah, I can help you. Let's take the next steps. So the next steps for me was to go out to Aurora, which is about 2 hours away, meet with their Chamber of Commerce and talk about what it is they wanted. Talk with the telephone company, who of course is a major partner in this process, what they wanted, and said, okay, let's put together a deal, which we did. And within I'd say a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, I had recruited about 125 that grew to about 200 jobs out in this small town. That then took on a life of its own. Other towns started calling me around Nebraska, and then nationally, other towns started calling me, as well as companies were calling me that, hey, we'd like to expand, or we'd like to attract a company like you did in Aurora. We'd like to get one of those. Or companies would call and say, listen, we'd like to expand. Can you help us? So it was a convergence of many factors that led to my becoming much more involved in the consulting end of the business, both from assisting local communities and economic development organizations and telephone companies, which I still do, on how you recruit these type of operations, as well as working with companies that are expanding, that are looking for new locations. In fact, we just signed a deal this week with Wewoka, Oklahoma.
Wewoka, Oklahoma.
Wewoka, Oklahoma, which is about an hour east of Oklahoma City. From a golfing standpoint, it's the home of Dr. Gil Morgan, who was a dentist, but became a fabulous golfer on the PGA and senior PGA tour. But anyway, I met them many years ago. And long story, but nonetheless, we are now representing Wewoka, Oklahoma. So we represent communities of all sizes. I've represented Barbados, Jamaica, provinces in Canada. I've been all over the place. It's whoever has the contract and wants to hire me, I'm there. I'm kind of like a paladin of economic development. Have contract, we'll travel. It's just that simple.
Wow, incredible. I remember reading about you in the Wall Street Journal, and there were other publications. And I was really impressed because, we had lost contact for a while. And I'm reading about you, and I'm saying, this is incredible. Yeah, is this the same guy? We used to be altar boys together, and incredible. So so I'm very much impressed with you. So now, all right. So then the consulting business took on its own life.
Yes.
But then, how did you become such a luminary in the golfing industry?
Well, you're using words that I'm not used to hearing in describing me. I don't think my wife has ever used the word luminary. So, but in any event, thank you for that. So as I am working with these companies and we're visiting various communities, invariably someone would want to play golf. Well, growing up in Chicago in Douglas Park, there was not a golf course there that I recall.
Right.
And I didn't play golf growing up, but it became apparent that, I better get with it. I better learn this game, or else I'm going to be left out. So as they're on the golf course for 3-4 hours or whatever the case might be, enjoying the golf and getting to know each other, I always looked at it from the business standpoint that, wait a minute, all of a sudden you're with the person you're trying to contract with or have contracted with. This is another 4 hours or more to interact with them, to bolster the relationship, create new relationships, therefore creating new revenue opportunities, money. I need to learn this in a quick hurry. And so I certainly plunged myself into golf I read books, I read the rules book. I went out and made a fool of myself, hitting balls and the whole business. I told my wife, Earlene, I'm going to learn this game, and I'm going to get, I don't know if I'm going to get good at it, but I'm going to get decent enough where I'm not going to embarrass myself out here. And I would think people would say I'm an average to maybe a little bit better than average golfer. I'm by no means qualified to be on the tour. but
Mhm.
I can hold my own. I can hold. There are people better, and there are people not as good. But nonetheless, I found it to be an activity that I wanted to be involved in because of the business components associated with golf. You meet people and you spend time with people that you could spend hours and days trying to get appointments with these folks. But when they're on the golf course, you're with them for 4 hours or more. You break bread with them afterwards. You have refreshments with them. And as you know, in business, you do business with people that you know and
And
people
like,
that are familiar with you and
yes.
like. And golf afforded that opportunity for me. And one event and one activity leads you to one place or another. Ultimately, it led me to the World Golf Foundation because I would go to the PGA show, which is every January, about a
Mhm.
million square foot trade show, 40, 50,000 people in and out of this trade show every day. And you meet people, you get associated with people. And I met a gentleman by the name of Steve Mona, who was president of the World Golf Foundation. Uh, I attended one of his meetings. We hit it off. He asked me to join a task force, and I agreed to do that. And then he asked me to chair a part of it. I agreed to do that, and then it just really took off from there. I guess I would have done an acceptable job according to Sister Mary Rose Rita in our Catholic training. I did an acceptable job. But like anyone, whether Catholic or not, you take on an assignment, you want to do it well. And when you do things well, like you have done, it attracts attention. And then you just have to decide what type of attention and how far you want to take it. And golf was just a new world, and it just kept unfolding. Whoa, there's this. You get to travel, you meet people, you meet CEOs. I like this. This makes sense to me. I want to do more of this. So play more golf. It's where I am. In fact, my background is make golf your thing. That is actually the theme of the golf world today is make golf your thing. I serve on the marketing and communications committee that
Mhm.
came up with this. And we encourage everybody. I'd be happy to send it to you using your virtual
Please.
background at any point.
Sure.
So golf has just afforded me a variety of activities. And so I decided to go ahead and form a company, Jim Beatty Golf Ventures, as I told my wife, who looked at me cross-eyed and like I was crazy, as she normally does, you want to form another company and you want it to be golf related. So I will get to see less of you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, we formed the company and said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Now, I've always been very driven in terms of being very specific about what I want to do. I don't want to just sit around and play golf. I want to be in the business and management of golf. And how do I best do that? When coupled with the fact that this, as you alluded to earlier, this is an $84 billion industry. And by the way, that is a 2016 figure. I believe we're closer to $100 billion now.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
as I began to study the business components of it, at best, African Americans and people of color represent easily less than 3%, and I think probably closer to 1% of what this industry is.
Mhm.
So, put in quantitative terms, we are at best 800 million, and we need to be closer to a billion to at our rate of representation and population. We need to be about 15% of that 84 or $100 billion, whichever figure you want to use. And so we've got to get about the business of being involved in that and being catalytic. And so I want to be catalytic and try to be and want to be and think that I am very catalytic, analytic, catalytic in this process.
So, all right. So then, uh, I have on occasion, a few years back, whenever the United Negro College Fund here in New York, we
Yeah.
had our celebrity golf tournaments. They, used to ask me to host the tournaments, which I did. And I'd go out on the golf course. I knew nothing about golf. I knew nothing about the scoring, but I'd go out there for the fun of it. So, Jim, there seems to be an opportunity all these years that I have missed, and I guess I represent a major uh, uh, population in the Black community, of we're more into basketball and baseball and things like that. Why? Tell us why and how we should get immersed in the golf, not just playing golf, but the golf industry.
Absolutely. Again, 84 billion trending toward 100 billion. One out of every 2,000 jobs in America is golf related.
One out of every two?
One out of every 2,000 jobs.
Oh, 2,000 jobs. Okay.
Golf related.
Mm-hmm.
Golf, and I'm going to separate professional play. Everybody knows about the Tiger Woods. There are approximately 200 professional golfers out there now, of which, including Tiger, there are 5 African Americans. Not everybody is going to become a professional golfer. That's hard. Just like not everybody's going to become a professional basketball player or football player. Right. However, you can participate in the industry, the $84 billion industry. The industry needs entertainment. The industry needs food and beverage. The industry needs travel. The industry needs social media. The industry needs on and on and on and on and on. And so, so regardless of what your background is, marketing, sales, golf sells apparel, golf sells all types of equipment. They need salespeople. They need marketing people. They need software people. They need media people. And our people, African Americans, people of color, need to be aware of these opportunities. I literally 2 days ago received a call from the editor of Golf Digest that has a job, 30 hours a week, and all it is doing is contacting golf courses and writing about golf courses. You don't even have to travel. All you have to do is write about them, get their pictures and write about them, and help put this in the magazine. So we need journalists, we need media people, we need all kind of folks in that. So to support what people see on TV, that just doesn't happen. What you see on TV on Sundays with professional golfers, there's folks on the camera, there's sound people, there's any number of support activities behind this, down to and including somebody's got to provide the porta potties.
Yeah. All right. So then with this, all these different opportunities, and many of us are already in these areas of,
Yes.
of that you speak of. How do we get inside or on the course, or around the course? How do we
multiple
do this?
Multiple ways. First of all, I would say to you and your listeners that they can go today, right now, to pgaimpact.org and register their company. If they have a company, they can go there and register. That, hey, here's what I can do, and you register. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. Secondly, begin to know what's called your PGA section. There is a PGA section in the New York area. You need to, anybody listening, they have a section, whether in Georgia or Maine, there is a PGA office there. You need to go introduce yourself. You need to make it known. You need to go out and if you don't know, you can go out and volunteer for helping out on a tournament that's in the area or wherever the tournament is. But you need to know people in the industry in order to make a breakthrough in the industry, to promote your product or service, or just learn more about it. You do not, and by the way, you do not need to play golf. That's not a requirement of these jobs. You do not have to be a golfer to be in the golf industry. So I have been working along with several others to promote this at HBCUs, colleges, universities, anyone that'll listen, to say your business students, your students, they need to understand there's a tremendous opportunity for careers in golf. Internships, jobs, careers, they're there. And I would say to you, my brother of 60 plus years, you in my opinion, I get down on my knees, but then I won't be able to get up too well. I'm being old. You can host, in my opinion, you are a gold mine. G. Keith Alexander, Harlem, America, golf tournament hosted by you. I'm telling you right now, is a hit. It's just waiting for you to sign off on it and do it. But golf raises billions of dollars for charities. And so that's been the primary venue. People see the tournament, but the fact is a lot of money is raised for charities, for hospitals through these professional golf tournaments, but they're also a tremendous business tool. You have to start thinking in those lines.
Jim, that is some powerful information, empowering information, because, you know, we, Harlem America is all about the total Black experience in entertainment, empowerment,
Yes.
and health and wellness.
Yes.
And you are giving us some empowerment information here. And we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with Jim Beatty. Jim has got a lot of important information that we need to know so that we can also participate in this $84 billion industry. And if you're listening right now, perhaps you already have some skill or some knowledge that the PGA can use. And we'll talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. Thank you, Kevin. We're here with Jim Beatty, and Jim is talking about the business of golf. And of course, this is a podcast. It's live now, but it'll be a podcast. So, you know, if you have time, you can always come back and listen to it again. But Jim, so you think the G. Keith Alexander Harlem America Golf Celebrity Tournament would be a big hit?
Doesn't even have to be a celebrity tournament. You make it a celebrity just by your presence. But yes, the G. Keith Alexander Harlem America Golf Invitational will be a hit. I predict that. I claim that right now. Period. Hands down, no question.
I claim it as well.
No question.
So all you corporate executives and CEOs and golf enthusiasts, and get ready, because it's coming, because Jim and I are going to hook up and we're going to have balls flying everywhere.
And more importantly, we're going to have money moving as well, too. This will be a great service for corporations, small and large, in your sphere of influence and nationally. And it'll be great for the corporations and great for the people. And I just see this as a tremendous, significant business tool for you. In all sincerity, it will be great for you in launching and doing what you want to do on the platform of Harlem America.
Wow. Well, thank you, Jim. So let's talk about your upcoming expo and forum, which is next year, which is, hey, just a couple of months away is next year. So tell us what you got planned. And
absolutely happy to do that. And if I could just mention one thing, the New York chapter of the Black MBAs, Master of Business Administration, I did an interview with them earlier this year. I will send you information, but you can reach out to them. They are very active in this golf/business sphere as well, too.
Oh, great. So how about Delbert?
African American Golfers Digest, DeBert Cook, founder, publisher. It's the only minority female-owned publication in the golf world. It is now going on 17 years old. And we have a circulation of 20,000 and a readership of 80,000. And I serve as executive editor and on the editorial review board for DeBert Cook, and have been working with her for 15 of those 17 years.
I've spoken to her on several occasions, and I'm so happy to hear that the publication is still flourishing, and that's great.
She
That
is
is great.
doing well. She is doing well. And everybody, she's been honored so many times, and she needs to be honored even more times. But absolutely, I'm so pleased to have a relationship with her. And she's been one of the biggest supporters of the Expo, G. Keith. So yes, we will have Expo 2022. And ideally in August. We are now reviewing proposals from 9 communities. As a result of our success last year in Atlanta, we had 9 communities reach out to us this year to say, please consider us. I had one as recent as 30 minutes before I got on the phone on the Zoom call with you, reach out to me, hotel, to say, we'd like to vie for your business. That is a perfect example of the power of golf, that all of a sudden now people recognize African Americans and people of color from a perspective of green meaning money. We represent money, and that's fine. That's great. We all know what we have to know and understand what our worth and our value is. And that's what this expo is all about. So we're in the process of selecting a site. I have site visits lined up for the remainder of the year. We'll make a selection. But to put it quantitatively from a convention and bureau standpoint, we represent 300 to 400 room nights. We represent several hundreds of thousands of dollars in expenditures in the local community. And so to that end, we aren't taken lightly. We're very serious, and that was intentional. I'm not seeking out to put on a little par 3 contest. I'm looking to make an impact wherever we go. We want to support that local community. We want to promote entrepreneurship in that local community. We want to promote businesses that are already in business to help them grow. We want to be a matchmaker with larger businesses that can use them. We want these businesses to be used in PGA, LPGA, USGA events. So we are, again, catalytic. That's it. That's what we intend to be. We hope to have, we're planning on having several hundred, if not several thousand people. This year, it will be a 5-day event starting on a Saturday. With a clinic for youth, a separate clinic for adults, for beginners folks who know absolutely nothing about the game. Fine. This will be a free clinic, no cost to them. We will handle all of that, including clubs. Once we select the space, we will then promote it accordingly. Saturday evening, we will have a community reception, meaning the 300-400 of our closest friends will join us for a cocktail and an overview about the expo and the business of golf. That will be done at a venue Saturday night. Sunday will be the golf scramble, and that means we have teams of 4 people that will be playing together as teams over the 18 holes. Last year, we had 84 people play in that. So we'll have that, as well as generally a silent auction and an awards ceremony right after that. Monday starts the expo, where we will have exhibits. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be exhibits and breakout sessions, topics that are germane to us. How to become a supplier to the PGA, careers and opportunities in the PGA and the LPGA, Ladies Professional Golf Association, how to get your kid through school on a golf scholarship, status of golf at HBCUs throughout America. We will have people from the Black Golf Coaches Association of America there. The United States Golf Association will generally, last year had museum artifacts there. That included programs autographed or signed by Joe Louis. A lot of people don't realize Joe Louis was obviously a great boxer. He was one heck of a golfer.
Really?
And Joe Louis was one of the first Black people to play in a PGA sanctioned event in Los Angeles. He was what we call pretty much a scratch golfer, meaning he could go out and shoot close to par. And he used his influence to get others. Joe Louis also was a supporter of many early Black golfers, the Charlie Sippers of the world, Lee Elder and others. And God rest Lee Elder's soul, he unfortunately passed this week. He kept them on his payroll to support them because they could not play in the PGA. There was a clause in the PGA of America's Constitution that if you weren't Caucasian, you couldn't play on the tour. That clause was lifted in 1961. That clause was lifted in 1961. But up until then, many Black golfers played in the United Golfers Association, UGA, in their tournaments. And Joe Louis played in them, and he supported many golfers, paid their way, paid their fees. He was probably one of the biggest supporters of, and the reason why golf was so dominant in the Black community. He really is the reason that we have many golf professionals yet today, in my opinion. So
remarkable. That's remarkable history. Yeah, I had no idea, and that is amazing.
Yes, it is. And it gets better. His son, Joe Louis Barrow, became the national president of what's now known as the First Tee of America, which is a youth development golf program that has chapters across the United States. His son was the president of that, and led that to unprecedented heights. But we'll cover all of these subjects. We will, of course, publish this on our website, aagolfexpo.com. That will be, people can go to that site now, but it will be updated as we add our pieces to the puzzle on where we will be and all of that. The exhibits, we will have Black-owned companies. It's open to everyone, but we wanted to make certain that Black-owned companies could participate and have space there. But anyone from All American Soul Brothers, who produce barbecue sauce, to OMG Lemonade, which is a Black company started by an 18-year-old, they were there. But we also have Ping, Troon, Club Core. These are major names in the golf industry there. Golf Pride, division of Eaton Corporation. They all are there together. That's the intentional purpose of this event, is to put people together to do business. That's what we are planning to do. And I believe we did a good job of it. We want to even do a better job next year.
Well, Jim, this has been a wonderful opportunity for you to share this with the Black community and Harlem America. What we do is we connect Harlem with the Harlems of the world. And I think that this message will get out to folks all over the country that, hey, wait a minute, maybe I can participate in this this industry where there's $84 billion worth of opportunity. So, Jim, we've got 3 minutes left. I am so happy that you took the time out to sit with me and have this really amazing discussion. And I want everyone to know that if you didn't get all the information, you can listen to the podcast later. The podcast will be up on harlemamerica.com, where we've got some great articles about rich Black culture and some people you ought to know. We've got some radio podcasts up there from some celebrities and entertainers. And also, we just launched our new show called The Full-Time CEO, the SHIT, They Won't Tell You. and also be sure and check out the Foxworth Theory, which is on Harlem America as well. So, Jim, I'm going to bid you a fond adieu and thank you. Say hello to your lovely wife. And we look forward to talking to you more about business opportunities in the golf industry. And I certainly, tonight, I'm going to lay in bed and say, G. Keith Alexander, Harlem America Golf Invitational.
There you go.
All right.
That's
Now,
it,
are you going to support me on this?
I'm gonna plan it for you. We're gonna be
All
business
right.
partners in this, brother. We're not gonna let this money get past us. That's what it is. Plain and simple.
Get down. All right,
All right,
ladies.
brother.
Well, thank you so very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please come back again next week and at 1 p.m. here at HarlemAmerica.com. This has been What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. And we thank you so very, very much for listening. Have a great day and a better one tomorrow.